Hello, our audience. Hello, our viewers. We are today at the final day of our conference. It's third day, and now I am glad to represent distinguished people who are making happen our blockchain technology. And today with us, Vitaly Mzakov from Kaspersky Lab. He is head of blockchain development of that company. Mzakov, it's your word. Just talk us about what are you doing and what's your goal, what's your core role on this now concerned and this now evolved blockchain industry.
Well, hello guys. In general, the Kaspersky Lab is well known as a cybersecurity company, and we have more than 20 years of experience and expertise in the market. And we've been developing a lot of solutions to cyber defend different aspects of the small and medium businesses and enterprises. However, right now we see that more and more stuff is happening in the blockchain and crypto, and we understand that the crypto ecosystem is here, it will not disappear, and we see our mission in cyber defending this ecosystem. Unfortunately, based on the researches and everything that we identified so far, both from the threats perspective as well, we see that while many companies do a lot of activities in the blockchain and crypto, they do not pay enough attention on cyber defending themselves and the projects they promote. So this is one of the goals, especially with this blockchain challenge, to emphasize the fact that the cyber safety is the right tool to help businesses keep doing what they promise to do, help startups to deliver solutions that they promise to the community, and also, like the tool to maintain the trust between these projects and the community and their clients. So, and we are here to cyber defend this uh, ecosystem and environment. So for us, it's a really good opportunity to bring years of the expertise in the cybersecurity into the new area. We also actually noticed that not so many cybersecurity companies uh, doing anything in this ecosystem so far. So also with the same fact, we see that there is a huge opportunity for us to be the, I would say, first mover in this environment and be recognized as the company that disrupts the cybersecurity environment and moves to the blockchain ecosystem to help those companies who are like on the edge of technologies.
Okay, Vitaly, just say us when a company decided to make them a role in this industry and why it decided. Because as I remember, the blockchain industry evolves and it started from 2019 when Bitcoin as is awares on this market. Yes, but hype becomes close to 2016, 2017. I'm not talking about 2018 when a lot of ICO projects come on area, but now we just want to know from the beginning why and how the company decided to make them role on this market as security company.
Well, it's a really good question. The reason why we decided to do so, I would honestly say that the top management, it can probably be surprising for some people, but the top management was encouraged a lot by the things that happen in the blockchain and crypto. And to me and my colleagues in my department, some internal employees came with the ideas how we can bring our expertise in the crypto economy, in the blockchain industry. And when we did the research, when we did the analysis, we saw that we do have a lot of services and the cybersecurity intelligence capabilities that we can simply package in the really nice services, like for example the one that we will give to the winner of this challenge, the review of the smart contract from the cybersecurity perspective. So we not just review the smart contract, but we also check the alignment between the smart contract and the white paper. But what is essential is that we do have capabilities not only to ensure that everything is programmed in smart contract the right way, but we can also double check if everything is good from the vulnerabilities perspective. So there are no vulnerabilities, because in many cases what we saw is that companies, they do program smart contracts right way, they do deliver functionality, but at the same time they do make some stupid mistakes that unfortunately create opportunity to use the properly programmed code as a backdoor or something like that. So it's like something they didn't expect to do in general. For us, it just really was both the internal researches and the understanding this is emerging market, and like merging these two things, we understood that it's right time, especially right now, to go to this market when people, they do really care about the trust between uh, the community, within the community in this environment, and there is a demand for proper cyber safety capabilities, and we can deliver them. So this is why we decided to step into this market. What makes this process easier for us in comparison to our competitors is that we privately owned company, the big one, maybe the biggest one privately owned cybersecurity company. And this fact allows us to move faster. We are not scary about the blockchain, despite all the negative aspects, all the negative comments from other people. We say that, guys, we do have experience, we do have expertise, and we can bring into this new market. So for us, it was like the decision that we easily made and decided to move faster and bring collaboration with multiple partners from this ecosystem into fruitful collaboration.
Okay, Vitaly, got it. And the another question is, you know, I'm just eager to know who is concrete your customers or your clients are, because when we're talking about blockchain as it's very secure, not so-called platform. It's very secure instrument to store the data, for example, about transactions. Blockchain as is. No need it to be secured anyhow, like computers or like I don't know any other devices which are we own. But on the other place, we have companies and we have smart contracts on some of the platforms which are have to be somehow clearly programmed. I think, and also because we are people, because we are human, and we are making that programming, and I think it's some kind of place of available bugs which should be anyhow checked out and should be secured. Am I right? Am I going on right way, or you have another way to look?
Yeah, actually, you're right. And I would like to make like a general overview on how we see our target audience. While talking with multiple people from this industry, we identified that the main issue for the company, for example, imagine you are a startup and you do something on the blockchain, despite the fact that the blockchain itself is the properly designed thing from the technological perspective and really secure platform to store the data. Everything else that you do on top of this stuff demands proper cyber safety. And not only the technologies that you build on top, but also the very same projects and the processes that you're running in the background. For example, if you are a startup and you're running your initial coin offering or any token offering or STO, for example, the problem is to build and maintain the trust. And the trust is based on the transparency in cyber safety. So transparency means you are transparent with your community that you see as your investors. You're transparent on what you do and you can show how you do these things. And from another side, you also ensure that everything you do in this project is cyber secured. Not only on the blockchain side, so you keep the data on the blockchain and it's private and secret or whatsoever, but also everything that is engaged in this project also properly validated. So this is why, for example, for startups, as you properly mentioned, we develop this service of the review in the smart contracts because people do want other people to co-invest and to participate in those ICOs and STOs, but they at the same time they do stupid mistakes. We had recently experience with one company in Europe who came to us saying that, guys, we are going to run the STO. Actually, they are going to run a token offering. And they said, you are a well-trusted cybersecurity company. We have a really good R&D office, and we developed the smart contract review, but we do really want you to review the smart contracts. And when we did the review, we saw that the source code of the smart contract was done really, really nice. But there are still some vulnerabilities that the regular programmers, they don't identify them as vulnerabilities because as I mentioned before, the functionality was programmed properly. But if you look at this code through the glasses of the cybersecurity expert, you will see that this way of using, for example, some functions or procedures is not safe, and you should have some, some patches or extra stuff to be verified on exit from this procedure, for example. And also, we actually also went a bit beyond just validation of the smart contract. So we can help you with the smart contract, but what's then? You're running your token offering, you're running your token sales procedure. So then you definitely would require someone to look at the phishing threat in the internet, because that's one of the biggest problem while you're running the ICO, for example, and we can help there as well. Another thing that we can do is, for example, we give companies the certificate on the cybersecurity incident response. That means for them, for the company who wants to do the token offering, it guarantees that the world recognized cybersecurity experts will be available on predefined SLA, on predefined amount of hours to do whatever is necessary if the bad thing happened, like data breach or whatever. And this allows, if you take all those three components, you will see that with the proper mindset, the startup that wants to do the token sale, they can validate the cyber safety of the smart contract before the ICO, for example. During the ICO, they can also get support from one of the leading security experts like Kaspersky Lab on identifying and blocking the phishing threats. And after the ICO, while the project is executing activities they wanted to execute after investments, after the crowd investments, crowd sales, they can also, I would probably say, they can sleep well because they know that if this shit happens, then pretty much solid cybersecurity provider will be engaged to identify how the data breach happened, collecting data, performing the cyber intelligence and cyber forensic, and help to remediate this particular threat and remediate any possible threats. That's the way how we see the general feature of the our target audience. What we also identified recently is that not only startups would like to go through this approach, but also companies who implement the enterprise blockchain initiatives, for example. And even more, we had conversations with people from the investment industry because they also see cybersecurity as the right tool to cyber defend, actually to defend their investments, not cyber defend them, but to protect investments. Because if you're an investor, you would definitely prefer to invest in the company who did at least several security checks, because if you give money to a company who will be data breached in 1 month, That probably for you as for investor means that you will have return of your investment in slightly different manner that you expected. So as we see, the target audience is quite broad one. It's very new for Kaspersky Lab, of course, but we do have something to offer these guys.
Okay, perfect. In my understanding, now you are working as supporting and as monitoring company, which are all the process of the beginning of programming, of the beginning of the launching some project online. You're starting to monitor the process and have a very close eye to the thieves, to the pigs, to something else which are going, or something happen on a network.
Correct.
Understood that all of the money, yes, at this moment is the big fail when the company venture goes to the ICO, to the IEO, to the STO or something else. But I just want to talk a bit about smart contracts. Do you, as company, do you as security company, which also maybe, as I imagine, also creating smart contracts, have maybe near future just a library of already secured, already audited smart contracts for the, I don't know, some basic initial coin offering? Is it already done or is maybe expanded?
This is something that subject for discussion. Right now, we do not publish the library of things we investigated because you properly mentioned we do support companies through the process of getting prepared for the token sales and executing these token sales. And by the way, we don't write the smart contracts. Of course, it's not our area of expertise, but we can review the source code. That's our area of expertise. We did quite plenty of reviews, and unfortunately, since the couple of years when we started this stuff, we haven't published anything yet because all the collaboration with the clients was kind of not secret, but they wanted to keep this data about the reviews of the smart contracts on undisclosed. And we recently, and I think you can Google it, we recently did our first commercial and public case study because the companies now start doing like more and more things in public way, and they wanted also us to disclose what we found and what we were successfully able to fix as the issue. So I think this is like changing a lot. We don't have a lot of the smart contract reviews to be published because still, again, they will remain undisclosed. But I think that the more reviews we do and the more companies understand that everything they do should be transparent, the more reviews we will see in the future. So I think, answering your question, everything that we did before will remain undisclosed, but everything we do from today, I think with many of the startups that are participating in the current blockchain community battle, I think everything will be disclosed, and we will definitely we will find ourselves in sharing the quite significant library of what we already reviewed.
Okay, perfect. And if you don't mind my last questions, what's your vision on where market now goes and the huge problems now it has? Because starting from 2016, now market is evolved and it's blockchain industry as is now goes to the governments, now goes to establish very good stable coins, now goes to I know tokenizing all the assets, suspect as property, something else. I think now industry is much more evolving, which are being somehow just like wild wide west, close to 2017. And what are you think now goes on? Which are challenges we have, and which kind of securities all the companies or all the projects needs?
I would put my answer in this way. With all the initiatives and activities I see right now in the blockchain industry and the crypto economy, I see that um, while everything is super emergent right now, the time and uh, the capability to get engaged, even for regular consumers into blockchain projects, is reduces a lot. So, for example, for companies, it becomes easier to implement blockchain projects. For you as a consumer, as the individual investor, it is easy to invest in some blockchain startup or anything that is flying here in this crypto economy. I think that the next challenge would be to make sure that while it is really easy for you to engage and buy tokens, sell tokens, trade them, or do whatever, you also do this in secure environment. I don't really want people. I don't really want to see the future where people will like spend their money in fancy things that involves blockchain and then lose all this money also very easy and very fast. So I think that the we at this moment also everyone understands that blockchain is cool and many companies and individuals went through the multiple use cases. So right now it's uh, it's really becoming more a norm using the blockchain. And again, I just really want to emphasize the fact that people, and we see this even right now, that more and more individuals and companies now understand that while they implemented blockchain stuff in the right way, they also need to just make sure that at some day it will not become the target for cyber criminals. And of course, if you a company, if you put a lot of stuff on the blockchain and it's right now running very fast and really cool, and you leverage this and you feature all the capabilities that blockchain offers, then at some point such companies will become the target for cyber criminals because that's maybe like a low hanging fruit. The same for consumers. Like back in the days, we all went through all these scamming ICOs, and people quite, like not so happy about investing in ICO, and they more looking towards doing stuff with the more regulated STOs. But again, it also does not guarantee that your money are well protected. So you should I would say, you should do regular things, but just keep cyber safety in mind and just question yourself, did I verify everything, or did I check that someone did it for me? So my investments or my project or my company or family is protected.
Okay, good. Thank you a lot. Very good view. I hope that now upcoming trends concern to IEO initial exchange offering, where the project Actual and Infango launching their project on the crypto exchange platform without, I don't know, writing any smart contract, for source like now. But I think also a lot of another blockchain platforms like ESCO now trying to implement or trying to present to the market new kind of new, maybe libraries or maybe also very good secure smart. I think in that way, Kaspersky Laboratories as also be helpful for them to implement this, new kind of or new type of programming skills, or new type of programming or programming as is, because it's new era in programming. Because before it we are programming on central computer on central processor, and now is distributed over network, and every bug and every bit is have to be minded for many times. I think it will be our future, and I'm very glad that this kind of huge company like Kaspersky Laboratories also been engaged in this process, like programming industry, security, and that's all. Thanks a lot. Thank you. If you have, I don't know, a couple of words to our audience, because they are challenging for that. They are looking for, I don't know, maybe your rating or maybe your opinion.
So I would like to wish everyone the good luck. And guys, I do really encourage you, even when this challenge finishes, please do care about the trust between your company and your investors and your consumers, your users. The proper execution of the trust is when you mix transparency and the cyber safety. Transparency is something that you can do. You are obliged to show and be really transparent to your community, to show what you're going to do, to give the access to verify that you are really doing what you promised to do. Give this access to the community. And this cyber safety is something, if you don't have enough expertise, the Kaspersky Lab can help you with. So you should understand that there is the shoulder that you can rely on if anything happens. Good luck, guys.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Audience, let us know. Just I want to remind you that our general sponsor is one of our general sponsor is also Kaspersky Lab, and our conference is under secure. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Vitaly, for your time. See you. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.